Hello and welcome to today's Daily Rift. This is episode 10 of the Daily Rift, so a small milestone, but a milestone nonetheless. So I'm pretty happy about that. Managed to be doing this for 2 weeks solid now, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I sort of do this show just as a baseline to make sure that I have some kind of content up for my channel every day. If I don't get anything else done in a day, I at least have this video ready to go, or an episode of this ready to go, as it were. And I've managed to successfully do that. I try to get one video up on the channel every weekday. I won't do weekend videos for a number of reasons, the most important of which is that it's the weekend. So that would have gone a lot better if I'd hit the Q key slightly sooner, but we got there in the end. And it looks like we're continuing on from yesterday's tradition of having enemies with nightmarish affixes. So this will be another fun rift then. So, at least this time we're in the basement, not on the stone fort. Although, that's probably actually worse, because this map can always be really, really, very maze-like, I suppose. Oh, where'd those guys come from? But yeah, I'm pretty happy about having now made 10 episodes of this, and got them up, and I know I don't have a huge number of viewers at this point, but, you know, it's one of those things where I figure if I keep at it, then they'll come, so. And that's what you got to do in this kind of thing, is just work at it, really. Put the time in, show people you want to do it, and get it done. So, speaking of getting things done, it'd be nice if we could get this rift done a bit smoother than we got yesterday's rift done. Illusionist. Now that's an affix I like. I know it can make things a bit tricky, but it's always cool when you get Illusionist and they pop out the clones that have very little health, and then you just get these huge massacre bonuses for killing them very quickly because they have no health. So. So yeah, I guess the best way to say it is that I like Illusionist more for the visual impressiveness of it than because it's actually a good affix. So. If you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about when I talk about affixes, take a look under the health bars that appear at the top of the screen when I'm fighting elite or champion packs, basically mobs that have yellow or blue names. And there'll be a list of sort of abilities underneath their name, and those are the affixes I'm talking about. So, can we go this way? One of the nice things about rifts is it doesn't really matter which direction you choose, because eventually you'll get there. It's a bit more important in greater rifts, where getting lost can cost you the time. And I've failed more than one greater rift just because I took a wrong turn and ended up having to backtrack too far. So I feel like Blizzard should not so much alter, but just make some changes to the way maps work when being generated for greater rifts, to make them a little bit more linear, I think, because I feel like while non-linear maps work okay in a regular rift, in a rift where time is an important factor of being able to successfully complete the rift. Ow! Okay. So in a rift where time is an important factor in being able to successfully complete the rift, I feel that the non-linearity of a rift can be a problem. That said, I suppose the argument against that is that it's part of the nature of the rifts, and it's something you know going in, that you may fail a rift just because you took a wrong turn. But if we're going to have leaderboards and, you know, competitions and stuff like that with greater rifts, then I feel as though that argument is perhaps not invalid, but certainly not as powerful as it might be if we didn't have those things determining greater rifts. So, my personal best on a greater rift is a 24 that I cleared in about 6 minutes And then had the misfortune, because I cleared it so fast, I got a rift key that was level 28, and I had no rift keys between them, so I did the 28 rift, and failed dismally. It took me about half an hour to clean what should be done in about 15 minutes, and I died a lot. So that sort of shows you where this character is in terms of being borderline on rifts. I don't know why I'm going to try and pick up those health potions. They don't benefit me because I have one of the legendary potions, so... Fire chains. Fire chains is annoying not because of what it does, but because of how much damage it does. If you get caught in it, it can be very easily to lose all your health very quickly, so... And especially, I've got it with the Molten affix there. So. But, looks like we're getting through this fairly well otherwise. I suppose playing on Torment 6 I should be a bit more willing to take a few deaths. Automatic health potion pickup is really annoying. I went there to get the health globe and I picked up all the health potions instead. I kind of wish there was an option to disable that so that you didn't have to pick up health potions when you had a legendary potion. Or that they disabled the automatic pickup if you had a legendary potion equipped in your potion slot. So.
That was just a taste. No, I will not do that.
Whoa. Wow. Torment 6. This is what it is. It's the real deal. And because I'm not over-equipped for it yet, that kind of thing will happen. So. Not having the best of luck with legendaries, though. Or with actually, like, decent item drops. Wow. They all just appeared out of nowhere on me then. So. Try and pull them back out here so that we can got a bit of space to work with. They've got poison enchanted, so they do those crazy sort of poison crosses. You see one pop up there. If you're new to Diablo 3, you're not really familiar with the way item upgrades work. Basically, once you get to the point that I'm at in this video, you pretty much only want legendary items. Anything that isn't a legendary item, if you pick it up, you just salvage it for crafting materials. So. Yeah, so bit of basic advice about playing Diablo 3 there. If you're not new to Diablo 3, you already knew that, and that was a complete waste of time in telling you. But I like to not assume the level of knowledge someone has about a game I'm making in a video. So, I mean, I like to assume that okay, I'm going to start saying this again. I like to assume that people know video games, but they may not know this specific video game I'm playing. So I don't like to make assumptions about what they know about a game I'm playing right now. So that's why sometimes I'll say stuff that's really basic knowledge to anyone who's put a fair amount of time into the game, but for someone who's still new to it, it may not be as obvious. I do this all the time in the Final Fantasy 13 videos I've been producing as well, where I've been explaining a lot of the basic mechanics of those games. I actually had to read up on a lot of those basic mechanics because I didn't fully understand them myself before I started that particular run. And I've got a lot better at it. And I'll probably do that for other games when I start making videos for other games. I'm hoping to get some... I was planning to have one for something this week, and I may still do that. I'm actually recording this video the day before it goes up on YouTube. So I've got another day of recording stuff to do. And I'm hoping to get some videos about other games up soon. The only game other than Diablo 3 and Final Fantasy 13 that I've done so far is, of course, Elder Scrolls Online. I may make another Elder Scrolls Online video when the next major update comes out, and I'll talk about some of the things in that update. And of course, with that game becoming not free to play, but certainly no longer having a subscription requirement to play, I suspect a lot more people are going to be interested in playing it, because I felt when the game came out, in fact, that the subscription was holding it back a little bit too much, and it's And I'm sort of surprised that Bethesda took as long as they have to basically determine that subscriptions weren't working out for it. And they had to do something about that game's business model. I think in general, subscription-based MMOs are not the future. I mean, unless you're World of Warcraft, you're not going to get the kind of income you need to support that. And these days, the technology to support a persistent MMO like Elder Scrolls Online, like World of Warcraft, is a lot less costly than it was, say, 10, 15 years ago. And because of that, you can do things now that weren't really possible with business models back then. Like, originally, subscription models in MMOs were basically there to cover the costs of running 24/7 servers. And that's what Ultima Online did, it's what the original EverQuest did, it's what a lot of other early MMOs did. But as time's moved on, 24/7 servers have become such a common thing that it barely costs anything to run them. Well, relatively barely costs anything to run them, compared to all the other costs that go into the game, like development costs and all that kind of stuff. So suddenly it doesn't make as much sense to charge that monthly fee when other games are going to just eat the cost of those servers and not charge players monthly fees. And I think the Guild Wars 2 business model is perhaps the best business model for that kind of thing, if you don't also want to go free-to-play. Free-to-play has its merits, but of course there's a bit of a negative stigma about games that go free-to-play, because all of a sudden, the player base, particularly if it's a subscription-based game that's gone free-to-play, you get this very sort of bad... you get this very bad attitude among the player base, I think, where a lot of people, because they have that negative perception of free-to-play games, basically immediately start hating your game, even if you don't change too much, even if the business model isn't that dramatically different. I think a good example of that is Neverwinter, which is actually a really good MMO. I played it for a fair while, a couple of years ago now, not long after it showed up on Steam for the first time. And Neverwinter is actually pretty good, but it's also completely free to play. And I think just being completely free to play puts a lot of people off that game, which is a bit of a shame, because Neverwinter has some really cool, innovative features that I've never seen in other MMOs. It has this whole system for basically user-generated content that is really cleverly implemented, and makes it stand apart from other games. I feel that its income earning or revenue generating mechanisms are perhaps not the best, but they're nowhere near as intrusive as some games. Now, where did that Rift Guardian go? This is another reason I once failed the Greater Rift, because the Rift Guardian spawned miles away from where I was. I still haven't found this Rift Guardian. The good news is Rift Guardians will come to you eventually, so hopefully we'll find him soon.
Not ready yet.
But yeah, so I think with Elder Scrolls Online, the business model is basically the Guild Wars business model, or the Secret World. More accurately, it's the Secret World business model, because the Guild Wars business model doesn't include the premium subscription option that Secret World has and that Elder Scrolls Online will have. In fact, all existing subscriptions are rolling over to that premium subscription if they're maintained after the fact. Where is that Rift Guardian? Is it back this way? There he is. Okay. The choker, again! Well, there you go. Put that up, and we should not have too much trouble. Bit of a narrow space for him, so we just need to be a bit aware of when he does all the crazy poison stuff, which he'll start doing. Yep, now. The nice thing about sentries is you don't have to target the boss for them to hit. They'll hit basically the nearest available enemy. So, in fact, Diablo 3 is probably a good example of a game that has a persistent online function, and you pay for the game but you don't pay an ongoing subscription fee. In fact, Diablo 2, I guess, had the same thing, but Diablo 2 didn't have the requirement to be online to play the game, like Diablo 3 does. Which, of course, caused much gnashing of teeth when the game was released. No legendaries again. Well, that was a bit of disappointment. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and thank you for watching 10 episodes of... Oh, we did get a legendary. Okay, so it turns out I'm a giant idiot, and we did get a special legendary to celebrate this episode. What did we get? We got a Izu Cob. Sure, why not? Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.